Hey, which means we are right here.
Let's go.
Hey.
Nana, you know the rules.
Do I though?
You know the rules.
Do I though?
2, 3,
Let's go.
Hey.
No. No.
Yeah, that's how we started.
No. Are you guys serious?
Okay.
We gotta do this. Okay,
Yes,
Benon,
go.
you first. You 3. Go. No.
Hey.
Wait. Okay, so what
We
you
got
guys?
Nana in the building.
Hey.
Okay, let
Okay.
me take it back.
Okay.
Hey, pull it up. Okay, let's go
Nah.
from
This
the
is
top.
the thing.
Yes.
I thought that I didn't have to.
No,
No.
you have
I
to.
have to drop rhymes.
Yeah,
That's the rule.
The thing is,
Bars.
we
Okay, I-
had lawyers, we've had,
Okay.
and filmmakers.
Okay.
Ngabachikuba.
Banana.
So we are definitely sure once you are creative.
You can even do Luganda.
Hey. Okay, let's go.
Okay. We got
Yeah.
Nana in the building.
Hey, turn it up.
We got Nana in the building.
Yeah.
We got. 1, 2, 3, let's go.
Banange mbalamusiza amaanyi agange nze n'abaterega nga nsibuka ku kaalo k'ennakinyuguzi akaalo matendo omwami ono gwe mulaba Benoni ye neighbor kulamusiza neighbor gwe wangi nedda bambi saagala kwemalamu kubanga because anytime tulumba ate nga nze essaawa yonna gavumenti njagala egira ekola egira ekala kata bannange musiimeeko banange I have a future alien skin neetaaga kolabo
We got Nana Kagga in the Jizzy.
Let's
baby.
go.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. Mpozi bajise batya?
eriwa
Your company?
Savannah Moon Production.
Savannah Moon Production.
Nyini mutuli naye wano Nana Kagga. Na. Muchala abadde
I swear. People keep choosing violence. Kuli ku copyright kati okizaayo eri emmanju kiki.
So good to have you, Nana.
Thank you.
Oh my God. We are in the presence of Uganda's Muitanyo.
Uchitegere.
Kubanga. Okay, you can't compare her to anybody right now. Alibi wanvu nnyo. Naye nzijukira mwana nga nkyali dogo back in the days. Jama gender.
Bonga bakulu.
Weebale nnyo. Nze omanyi nze natandika jamajena nga n'emyaka 5.
Kuba nkulaba
nina talent. Kati bandaba ndi mu kindergarten ne bagamba oyo lwaki tafuuka president.
No chikuba. Anyway, nze, from what I know, from me I was young. So sijukira bulungi oba yali mukulu oba muto.
Kuba wali muto.
Kuba nze nali muto naye.
Ng'olaba bulabi.
Ate ndi waddamuko kati naye.
Kati ekitegeeza ky'ogamba nti ndi mukulu wa jjajjaawo.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Master Bus.
Thank you. I appreciate that. By the way. I really do appreciate that compliment. Because I am up there. Twazirwana.
Akasusuke kobe che.
Jesus, sister.
Anyway, so good to have you here.
Thank you.
And we always take it serious whenever not that we are not serious people, but it's a big deal for us hosting ladies in the creative industry. And we also acknowledge the fact that temuli banji and we usually want to know why.
Yes.
Why do you think it's that way? Is it fabasajja fababanyigisa? Is it
you just naturally
oba the field is still downplayed in Bua? You see the abacha, it's not ladylike to, yeah, just give us your take. Why is that?
I honestly think that abachala tuli batono because the industry is brutal. and it takes a toll on you emotionally, physically, and mentally. The worst thing about the industry is your ability to keep adapting to the different environments, different people, different requirements. Women were very emotional. So you get to a point where you're responding from an emotional standpoint as opposed to a very logical one. So what happens with women normally, Auntie Tunova you do. And I keep telling people it takes a different mindset to actually be in this industry. You have to believe that this is your purpose. And once you believe that this is your purpose, you have to be prepared to do it for free. You get me? And put up with everything. Otherwise, just get out. It's not the sort of industry where people are going to baby you. In fact, I think you have to work 3 times harder than your male counterpart because the expectation is that you're not going to be able to deliver. And then, and then the other part about it is Uganda is not exactly conducive to a professional career for women. We're still very much in the mindset, industry.
As in culture-wise.
Culture-wise, we're still very much in that mindset. I don't care what people say, but again, the Western world has infringed on the expectations of women. Parents here feel like you've disappointed them for most of your life. Nemu industry in Benon, you can disappear from home for a month.
Yeah.
Chokanga ate seti gy'oliko eriko abasajja nga 5. Kati ng'omwami weeko omugambo otya?
Omunnyonnyolo otya
teebereza osula nabo mukola ne night shoots we bagwa woogwa. It's an interesting industry, but at the same time it's easier when you're on top. I realized that very quickly, so that as a woman you can make your own rules and protect your boundaries.
So what do you think? What can we do about it?
I think there are too many initiatives geared towards women in film at the moment that they're actually neglecting the male counterparts. So I think there's an initiative, women in film, women to inspire, UG filmmakers. Because at the end of the day, someone needs to make a choice on what they want to do in life and follow through. Segregating and yes, there's a gap. Benon. Nayate, they're not addressing it par to par with the men. Every initiative is favoring women in film, and I applaud that. But at the same time, they need to be able to earn their place just as their male counterparts. Otherwise, you're flipping the script and disadvantaging the male in the industry.
Boy child temulekerera.
Boy child atenga tubagala.
But and from Nana's point, there's a lot of things, not just this industry, but some things some people believe that they are more natural for women to do, like nurturing, like taking care of, naturally women, like, let's say, raising children. It's something naturally it's within them to have that thing of having a small baby and making sure everything is fine and blah, 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 blah. There are certain things I feel like over there, I don't want to say they are forcing them to do, but they over push it. And I'm for creating a good environment for women to be in this industry, but at the same time, not twisting their hand to be like, no, you're supposed to go and do film whether you like it or not. It has to be something they want to do. If there are conditions that are making it hard for them, then they should do away with those. They're but not be like, no, women go and do movies, because everyone will start thinking, no, I think I shouldn't be.
I think abataddeko sente nyingi. Now, when someone offers you a lot of money, now we can wekuba mnogambo basa ategedde oba this is my calling. Webolaba 00 ogamba. The other thing about this industry, and I'll be honest, it's not kind as you get older.
Is that as a woman or for
generally?
Kubanga ate for even women it's worse. Jukira, if you give the earlier parts of your life to this industry, kitegeeza togenda kufumbira togenda kuzaala. Naye ate gye weeyongera maaso, even the roles get less. they get less because film is very physical, right? Whether you're acting, whether you're directing, all of that. And like anything else in life, or the loneliness is now coming back to hit you.
Yeah.
Okay. We might say now there's this whole Me Too movement and I don't need a man. Bichi nze nkubulye ku myaka gyendiko. Bakagende kompola kasiro ganiako.
Kamena trash.
Okitegeera. Owaye nembwe emanya bweddeeka. Okitegeera. This whole idea that men are dogs. I always tell people that dogs are the most loyal animals you can have.
Know what I mean?
Zitambula.
Let's go!
Yeah.
And they know their way home. So the thing is, they know that they love you and they know where you are and they'll always find their way home.
Yeah.
But this whole narrative, ate omuntu oba osalawo okubeera naye oba omumanyi obuzeebwe ate tobulanga nnyo ate abawala gye bakoma okugamba nti kayi wako kayi naawe gy'okomogamba oba mpitireyo.
On Daniel's point, I think it's not even just film, but generally art.
Yes.
Even musicians, the same thing. They're like, prime yo. Like
very much so.
There's a time, there's an age where you're on fire.
Yes.
Then at some point, however good you are, people will always choose the younger kid because they're like, they're just young. Only to manure they we know what you can do. So roles in
there's another obanchite chirwadde. When you get old as a woman and there's always the younger, more beautiful girls competing for the roles that where you used to be, whatever, there's a psychological switch that goes off. Nora omuntu nga alwanira role ya 20-year-old. The reality is you are no longer that person. You might look it.
But, no, the
reality is that even your life experiences will not allow you to deliver that character as truthfully as possible. So at some point, we have to know when to exit. And at the end of the day, if you're in the arts industry, start writing content that's appropriate for your age. I'm just saying. That's who I am. And that's how I can tell stories that are authentic. But at the same time, they're few and far-fetched now. I can't get a script unless someone is like, then they'll come to me, you know? But these young ones, my girl over there, Katingo competing anoyo.
But I'm sure at whatever stage you are at in life, what be the whole role that is suitable for you?
It is there, but not as many. You know, the world wants to see beauty, youth, glamour. Let's be honest. The roles are there. Because everyone is attracted to beauty and everyone wants to see hope. It always is embedded in the youth, our youth.
Staying young forever.
So that forever young mentality is very prevalent, even more so in the arts.
But also, surprisingly, I might digress a little bit, but women who are 40 today, surprisingly, seem to be happier than the younger. You find very young girls like, I'm stressed. Even men. Like, they seem to be happier and like... Then the younger ones are like, oh my God, what is this thing they go through a lot? Depression. They're like, I'm depressed. Like, what are you depressed at a younger age?
No, I think by the time you hit 40, first of
nothing can depress you.
You're more experienced in
dealing with
life, basically.
You
know, if you need to do something, like you handle things differently.
It makes sense.
You choose your battles carefully as well. You know, when I was younger, I was just as a person, I'm very chaotic. My spirit is very chaotic. And I would respond accordingly with fire. And I've realized as I've gone, there's even a way you look at someone, and that sort of mentality in life, eyamba Nomanyi sikyayombera na mu traffic. Nkuleka noyitawo. And that was never me.
Yeah.
But again, girls these days are dealing with a lot. Girls these days are dealing. Ku myaka abiri nga I'm just looking for Benon kungulya chupa ya waragi. But these girls are literally in survival mode all the time. The social media handle has
You have to be on top of your game.
Yeah, you have
and
to be
then
seen
if
with
you,
an
and
iPhone.
yes,
Yeah.
and if you don't have it, fake it. Kati
Yeah.
pressure y'okubeera nga buli kaseera. Ife twabeeranga wandege ya ku tips take away. Kasita angulira ka Kingfisher wine.
Ngo you're good.
My God. Nanteeka ne mu taxi okunzizaayo eka. Ngo your guy is a keeper. Ochitegeera. Now you have the human hair wig that costs $1 million shillings. You have the iPhone Pro Max 14. You have the clothing. You have to be seen on Bandali Rise. Simanyi gye balaga.
You have to be seen with the most expensive drinks.
Yeah.
You know,
Drinks
with the
ezigula
men about
kakadde.
town. Ochitegeera echupa ne bagikuteera ku mmeeza. Manyi ogenda n'embala nenga busawo bwa cement 10.
I always tell this story. Lumu mwana nali nva kukola ka deposit. Omanyi mwana oba tozimanga ko ebintu ebimwe. There's this toilet seat I wanted to buy, but I could not afford. It was 700,000. Depositing ako.
Did it warm your butt?
Kugambi.
It had a nice shape.
Ku mitwalo 7 eteekwa okuba ebugumya
That
ne.
very night, my boys take me out. Mwana, they brought the bill. It's 1.2. I told the guy, Mwana,
you toilet seat here.
Yo, when you put it like that, that's some crazy stuff, isn't it?
I mean, I don't have anything against people that, you know, I like to have a good time.
Yeah.
Always your gamba. Omaine chupa.
Priorities.
Sometimes in the supermarket, it's 100,000.
Yes.
In a bar, high-end bar.
450, 500.
You know what I mean?
Anyway, we digressed a bit. Nana.
Yes.
Njagala kumanya.
Yes.
How do you end up at WBS? One trend I've noticed with a lot of people in our industry, Wesanganga, especially Wesanganga, we came through the conventional way of, you know, even in school, become a doctor,
Yes.
But like a rebel,
Not
really rebel, but there's something that
just
like a passion,
won't let you go.
Yeah, just ends up taking you a different direction. Was it the same case for you?
Yeah, I come from a family of engineers completely. All of us are engineers. My dad's civil, the twins are civil. Then I studied chemical engineering with a master's in petroleum.
Hey.
And then my sister is electrical and electrical.
Fast pause a bit. Tutwala speed.
Wasoma bichi?
Chemical engineering. Ati amafuta nagabeeramu emyaka 10. I worked for Tullow Oil as a petroleum engineer for 10 years. Awo wenyini.
No saving.
Saving. Anti kati kyenkyansobozesa okukola my first project beneath the lies because it was self-financed.
Yes.
So I would use most of my salary towards the projects that I wanted to do. But nga tuzeeyo. Trying to explain to my parents that njagala kuva mu engineering jukira aba Irish abo bali basasula when you are enga ne bwejjako sebo ngo oyogeza maanyi mu bantu. And you know, to be part of the team that discovered Uganda's oil fields and be recognized for that, and also write the field development plans that are actually being used as a roadmap right now.
Wow.
Was such an achievement for my dad. Katinga yenyumiriza mu mwana we akola mafuta. But like you said, there's something in you that's restless. When you're creative, you are creative. And I keep telling people, we don't choose the arts choose you.
Yeah.
That's so true,
it
man.
is very true, because there's such a restlessness about you if you're not creating, if you're not engaging.
There's no fulfillment.
So when I told my dad and my mom that I was definitely leaving petroleum engineering, nenteekamu ne voluntary termination with HR. Ndoza baakuma n'olumbeeka. It was so traumatic for my dad that for a while we didn't even talk much, because he had nothing to say to me. Anything he had to say to me would be negative. But I persevered. Never waliku Yusuf Lule nenzide salama kekalo kemberako, and I decided to build something that I felt I had given enough of my life to what people wanted me to do, and this other half I was going to be selfish and do what I was meant to do. So it was a very difficult choice, but I did it, and it cost me partly my marriage. I have paid my dues in that decision.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
so deep.
moving.
And it's
Because,
moving.
and from what she said, it reminds me of a little friend of mine. She's about 22 now. She's very extremely talented. She can sing, she's smart and all that. But so she used to ask me a lot. So I can actually do this, like, let's say, should I call it formal work or office work?
Yes.
But I can also sing.
She's super bright.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So one time we sat down. I was with me and Moritz and her, and we were talking about it. So from what she said, like when she talks about her you call it what? Self-sustained project, whatever she did. So Moritz tells her story. She's like, no, you're 22. Do all those things. Yeah, like you go work, make money, and the money you make, you'll put it in your music and in your art. You'll do that until you come to a point where you're like, no, now I don't. My art is at a good point where I can now just do this, if that's what you want to do. And also because you're still 22, you're still discovering yourself. So you just do all those things. Do them.
That is super true for all creatives out there.
Yes.
I think it's important to find a way of feeding the passion.
Yes.
I mean, we've all been there. We've paid our dues. We hustled here and there to make sure that we get to a position where you can feed the passion and feel fulfilled.
Yes.
It's very difficult for you to jump from out of nowhere otandike kunyumira bunyumizi.
Kuwango laba nze Benon, when I started doing gigs, how I learned production, I knew in my head that if I'm going to start doing production, I need a laptop. So every time I went on stage to sing, all the money I was making, I was saving. That's all I was thinking, because I knew that I wasn't going to disturb people. Like, mpe the chikabidi in the studio. So I need to be good, so that one time if I get an opportunity to sit in that studio and I make a beat, they'll be like, this man deserves to sit in this room. You know what I mean? So like I made sure that I get the little man I had and invested it in my art, so that I can be able to take it to another level. You know what I mean? So that when I bring it out to people, they're like, this is good. As opposed to coming, there's a trend these days, they believe in themselves, which is okay.
Yes.
But then they'll walk into an office and be like, I want to become a producer here in your studio.
And they've not
be like, bro,
they've not put in
you know what I mean?
But also they have not researched who they are coming to talk to.
You know what I mean?
I just have to share this again, what you said. Please make sure that if you have a skill that can earn you money to put into your art, kumyaka abiri mu ebiri, you have time. It also will protect your artistic integrity in that abantu bagenda kukozesa bintu binakukola
chikulu nyecho
artistic integrity. Do you know the reason most people always ask me, how come you've done work that is, good? And it is because it has been done on my own terms, where there is no compromise, So I don't have someone in my ear telling me I invested money, I don't have someone in my ear asking me to recast a girl that doesn't have talent. So abantu bonna creatives at the moment, there's an entitlement that they really need to shed. They really need to do research. Not in a bad way. The way you've created Swangs has been very stealthy. Can I use that word? Benon and Swangs. And it has been a slow and gradual process, but you're getting it where it needs to go. So if we're sitting here and we're telling you, kola ng'omuddu olyenga kabaka, kyetaagisa n'obwami buveeko olyenga kabaka.
Like a king.
True.
Nti when you get to the top of your industry, you will understand the journey. You can share what you've learned, not just in technical skill, but in experience, and you can mentor. Ebyo ebintu binene nnyo.
And you'll be comfortable sharing because
ate tewalina ka competition ono omwana oba tomulaba nga competition kubanga naye alina okutwala ekkuba eryo akikube naye bandiwuliriza kubanga ekyo ekintu kikulu nnyo ekyokweteekamu naawe kennyini ne weegrowinga no making a mistakes nga ssente zo z'osudde bane tewali kirumanga nga emaali gy'okoze your mistake you pay for not someone else you pay for.
That's deep. Entitlement kanji nnyo.
Buli muntu producer, buli muntu singer, buli muntu actor, buli muntu producer, buli muntu influencer, buli muntu kwegamba abaana abatono omutunia n'omugamba omanye ki ku bulamu gwe influencinga abantu n'ensi yonna. Kati we bafuna duplosoni oyo gobadde oyogerako enters because they are not as focused. Omanyi golo gye weekoledde n'okituukako. You won't even be shouting at the rooftops. You'll be sitting in your office sipping on a whiskey quietly because only you know
the journey.
Now you have to beat yourself.
So was the transition easy or you had to imagine kati ovudde mu kasente katalo kati otandika kuzimba kikyo you know usually always people we don't get to share a lot of that part of the journey. So people end up taking the jump when they are not ready. For the storm that's
Benon. It was terrifying. It was absolutely terrifying. But what I did, and I'll always remember this, I made sure that I had built a house so my children could always have a home and that they would feel a sense of security regardless of what I was battling here. Naye simanyi oba omanyi what it takes to stand n'otaddayo eri kati ng'ofulumya bufulumya. You're not really earning where you were making or fulumya, but the needs have not lessened. In fact, they're just growing. And every day you'll sit in there and you have to remind yourself that nobody else can see what you can do apart from you.
It's in your head.
Kati onnyonnyola otya maama we yakuzaala obuzaazi nti njagala ku becoming at this. It's so intangible. There's no way you can explain to someone that I want to create music out of nothing. Only you know the beat in your head. Only you know.
Examples
tezibaawo. Naye n'ekirala industry yaffe badde stigmatized for too long. When you're a musician or an actor, you are uneducated, you are incompetent, you are an idiot. Okitegeera sawa yonna weetunda. Kati also to shed that stigmatization has been a journey. Naye ne tutagenda, we couldn't go begging or trying to explain to people that I left. Omanyi ogamba omuntu nti namala ttalo ne nnyingira ebya firimu gwe kiwulire mu mutwe gwo. You know, people are like, is she in some sort of drug trip? Is she like having a breakdown? Is she, it was hard. It was terrifying every day. And since then has been a battle to keep one foot in front of the other.
It actually puts a lot of pressure on you for it to work.
Yes. You have no option now but success. Gwa buli muntu alinda okole ki?
Ogwe
Kireme. So they can sit kagamba ako. Or there's always the constant sending you job opportunities. What's up? But before you know it, 5 years of your life is gone. Another 10 is gone. Another 15. Kati then you become one of those bitter people who are seeing people successful and start saying, nze
nabigira ebyo
bameka betulina abawasi pitching ezo nze waliwo gwemmanyi abeera ku stage ya film buli kaseera agamba nze nasookawo abaana bamwyitako byadda. And back in the day you were the lion. Now you've been taken down. But if you can keep on top of your game, jukira buli lwa achieving ekintu, you have to beat yourself. I have no competition but me.
Yeah.
If I'm not doing something better than I did the last time round, I'm not working.
Yeah.
Okay. At the very least, if I mentor my crew, my crew are nabato, and I deliberately make a choice to hire younger guys. Do you know why? They show you the world in a different light.
Yes.
Webere no mukuru olowooza gwe kamala byonna wabiraba dda towuliriza
tojja kumanya kategeeza ki.
So you need the young bannanga abaana bakuba short gwe Benon. Nina DOP, I was doing a project this year, to laugh. Kati tulina old school ki go storyboarding yoyo close up, wide, medium, cutaway, close up okitegeera close up. Abaana bagamba tugenda kulamuka moving shot tukastopinge tukajje waggulu tukateeke wansi kati naawe ogendera okwo in fact nange bwe mbadde ndowooza bannange bagayi tukikole.
They make you look good.
Yes, then you stand back and let them do what they do best. And then you just say kati tulinde bannange. But let me tell you, Benon, it's terrifying. What we do is a roller coaster ride. I wish people knew that. Nti buli lunaku toba tomanyi oba leero you are shutting down.
Yeah.
It
is, but also the rewards are sweeter. Chali wange waliwo wemutuukanga ogamba eno kwota tugiyitako kintu kifu nnyo. But munange somehow you survive it, you maneuver and things.
And then you get something you never even envisioned. I recently got someone say, Nana, I want you to meet someone. Kati ate nalina kihanguva kyange. Angamba situkonabe weiweko otuzojje. You have to come to Latitude right now. So I'm like, okay, fair enough. It had been a tough month for Savannah. I don't know how everyone's coping, but right now the economy is sweet. Kakati ningenda. Omukyala bwandaba nangamba, you the girl I saw, she had been flying back on British Airways about 10 years ago. And she watched He's Just Not That Into You with Ben Affleck and Jennifer Aniston. And she remembers a black girl with an afro because I was in that film with Miramax. And she looked at me and said, your face is so familiar. And she just kept staring. Nagama, I know where I've seen you from. Naitaka YouTube. Nagama, anyway, I have this project coming up. Bichi, 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 bichi. Nagama, do you want to see my profile? Nagama, no, I don't need it. Najira okadiru diru gwe. Ninjamu n'endowooza ono nga mufeera alabika omanyi omuntu ng'akuwadde nnyo n'ogamba naye ddala ogenda kumpanga ne company profile nagamba nkitege I've heard your name in the corridors and I'm going to use you munemba ndi awo Benoni nkaka akawunti tekawewusa ate akabadde nga bakasuddeko
has been credited
nga ne conversion rate yeeyo omanyi gye nasookera ku Maison Noire
nogamba
netulya ddala ku mulyango nga badde baludde okundaba
omuntu teyeyagalireko mu nsi
nekyo kikyo basimutera mu bintu binyumya mu nsi eno
akitegeera nankola namwente okuyita weita ng'olwo sikyayita madamu manyi bw'oba mu ne ssente okola bwoti ne bajjo okamanya ako oba ogiraba oti olugalo lwo naye bw'oba omwavu okuba kaama madamu
tulina kyali waffe tulina kyali waffe baleeta kabiru ka Maison nga bakanywamu ecupa emu naye kino ekimugamba omanyi kasoka finding out wa wayimiridde baita kabiru mbu nawulira music nga takyanyuma ali mu echo nawulira nga pulesa zimu
ng'ekintu kyonoonese
naye ddala ebintu bye tukola singa abantu bali mamanyi this for me, walking away from engineering, a respectable, time-honored occupation that your parents brag about to their friends. Kati bwe bakutwala mu bantu basooka mwana ngeno yali akola engineering naye omwana yatusobera naye ali eyo there's always an explanation that
and
comes with you.
Tebabitegeera bulungi.
I think my dad's just starting to understand what I do. After some 40 odd years, he's actually starting to understand that there's money in film. My mom, on the other hand, has been performing since we were born. For her, every day is her world stage. Oli omukyala muveeko.
Achikuba.
But even at 50 or 60, you can't do oil again if you wanted.
Gundi okusimanga. Okay, that sounds. Okay, oil.
Editor, please.
Yes, please.
No.
You,
at 36 minutes.
No, but still.
You can't.
Omanyimo oil, you can drill horizontally, vertically, deviated, and oil wells are called she. So when you find oil, they say she gushed.
Okay.
Kati ebintu byonna ebiri mu oil language were invented by men, so it does sound very, very, very suggestive. We used to sit in meetings nga ngezaako obutaseka omanye okutuliko okuseka bagamba we drilled her nga ndi wali mpulira bannange gaya yimiridde wali, and then finally she produced the fluid and gushed. Nyo mnakuba mu ngalo nze nga nkuba vision ndala na mukama ansonyiwe
or the creative.
Exactly. So my head would just go to a whole visual
different world.
Yes. But oil at 50, na manyine oil industry is very brutal.
Demanding.
You are never at home. Because for me, I was assigned to Uganda, South Africa, and then the UK and Colombia. Those are the 4 countries I was consulting in for tallow oil. So imagine, Monday to Thursday mbeera esse, neninya wano nempitirawo ku weekend, neneyongerayo London, nenga nina omwana omuto wa myaka 3, owulidde, nga nina n'omwami, ate nga n'omwami naye akola in a different, we were both in oil. Kati nga teri alaba munne tuyisinganya bwesinganya amaka gange ebunga negazika nga nobody lives there. Kuba omwana twamujjawo ne tumwa mami. So I also would have a need to just go spend a day nzigule ku madirisa kateni muterezeko n'abakozi bamanye nti tewabalekaawo. You get me? But it is grueling on you as a person. Maybe men muina akasobola okugira naye omukazi, we are used, like you said, we're nesters, we're nurturers. You want your home to be a certain way. I always felt like something had to give. Now, as I grow older, would I go back? Absolutely not.
Okay.
I can tell you that ku myaka emitono gye nsigaza ku nsi kuno sisobola giwestinga nga nkola bukozi sente.
Tell us why did you leave Hollywood, and what are some little bit of the success stories that you achieved?
Hollywood for me is a place where, you know, your soul can either, it's toxic. There's no other way for it. Hollywood is toxic. I made the decision. At the time I finished uni, I decided to go to Albuquerque, New Mexico. I got a job offer. And it was a private company that worked on US military contracts, modifying weapons. So I'm really good with explosives, by the way. I can mix any household item and blow some stuff up. Oh, wow. Kakati. No, so I did that for about 3 years. But again, that niggling thing, banangecha art. Ubera walinga toterede. You just constantly olaba. Buliruoteka ko TV noraba bachikola. You just like I can do it even better. So I made the decision after doing a commercial for iPod webampayo kasente ne ngenda LA. Now imagine, I didn't have an agent. I wasn't part of the Screen Actors Guild. I just ended up there with a friend of mine I'd met at University of Birmingham, Yvette. Katirumu Yvette ngangamba, no, she said you can stay with me for a month. Nendeterako mwami wange, God rest his soul, he passed due to cancer. And we went and stayed with Yvette. So at the time, Chad was diagnosed with cancer and they said it was incurable. So he decided that he would just focus on helping me follow my dream. And musajja watu, anyway. I don't think I'll ever be loved by anyone the way that man loved me. It's the strangest thing. Now that I'm older and I look back, I just, that sort of selfless love. Anyway, nagamba tugende sweetheart nze nja kola during my chemo sessions. I'll get a job and I'll go to hospital. I'll take myself while you go do auditions. And the days when I don't feel well, I'll stay home. But don't feel any pressure that you really need to succeed. Nengenda na Yvette, but at the time they were casting for a black stripper. I sat by the bathroom. And the casting director wanted to use the toilet. Then he was walking past Negwenga Abana Abanyedida Bali mo audition room. LA has mixtures of black women you have never heard of. You yourself half Chinese, half black, half Japanese. Chiri wali enviri ya omwana inaka sikini ogamba oba matago yaganywanga atya teyayonkanga ffe. Okitegeera. So it was that feeling of I don't belong here. Back in the day, at that time, Hollywood was not very enamored by dark-skinned women at all. Like you were Obachichi. Anyway, the guy walks past, sees me, and says, "She's the one." That's as black as I want them. Now, Hollywood,
I was about to say, my skin is but they're not as dark as
they're not. No, Jukira, boy, Hollywood, you're not a person. You are a product. So you say, stand up, calls the lighting guy, bring me the blonde girl, stand next to her. Can you do the lighting? Turn around, her butt is a little big, but if we dress her in a flowy dress, do you know how to climb a pole?
I beg your pardon?
naye nzijukira nali nnyanya emiti baakubanze masajja nengamba polo bupolo kozeja. Anyway, so I book it, I get my first gig, and then my friend's agent basically signs me. I go on to do KFC. But at the same time, it was always the same comment. You are too black. And then the fact that for us, when we're being taught English here, you articulate. Black Americans, you know how they talk. Kati, they were so confused by a black chick that can talk without the American twang. So every time I open my mouth, they'll be like, are you putting on an act or do you really speak like that?
Where are you from?
Oh, chitegera nabaterega wawe nga nino banyonyola ntina nze ndi muzukulu wachwa. So I started to do well at the same time as the Lupitas were coming in, stuff. So, but then I got to Star Trek. I did CSI New York. I did The Life. I did That Good Day to Be Black and Sexy. Jose knows the owner of that. And then I went on to do another series called Runway Stars, CSI New York, Life. I did Lenny Kravitz's video, Amy Winehouse. Okay. You know, the funny thing is that the more they didn't like me, the less I cared. And the less I cared, the more I booked. Because I wasn't attaching any more emotion to whether I walked into a room or not. I would walk in, I'd do what I was told. I was very nonchalant about it.
Take it or leave it.
Yeah, you hear so much about
so expectations.
Never, like, I think that's why most people in LA get plastic surgery. They tear you down so much that you start to change yourself to what they want to see.
You're second guessing.
And even then when you change, still they're like,
they don't. So the more I noticed that, the less I wanted to stay in LA. Jukira ne rose bagabe LA, there's the slave, the hoe, the prostitute. You will never be a CEO. You will never be a secretary in a nice office. That has just started to change. So for me, even when Lupita won 12 years a slave for being whipped, it's still the same narrative of the black woman. Okay, but when I was on Star Trek, I was asked to sign on for Star Trek 2. Kati jukira, for them, it's unacceptable to gain weight, to change your appearance to any which way during a movie. They weigh you. They basically make sure the product they got from the manager is the product that will finish this film. Yeah, so I told the seamstress, Nancy Bakoseti, Papa. When I finish this, my daughter cannot be another black American. The biggest gift I can give her is for her to grow up here. Kubanga jakumanya who and what she is. So as soon as I gave birth to Nava, I'd wrapped Star Trek a while ago. Ngakacheke wekali. I remember she was crying the whole night. Benon banange singozaro mwana mu America. Gwoto banaye, gwosiba naye ato yino kunonya chemunalia. The nannies are different. Abasipana, abazungu tomanyi bye bakola bana. So one day Nava had been crying that banenga seva nengenda ku nensaba taxi nentwala ku LAX nengula one way ticket nenkubira mami Heathrow nemga mami nkoma weka. Ngenda gwaddalu. I got here. This is a funny story. I gave Nava to my mother. The umano yote yakaba during the entire flight here. we land and in Tebe, she starts screaming, immigration, like my mom come in, ne mumua umwana nasirika.
Was that the first time of meeting a man?
First time. Neba mwajaja omusajja nava nasirikira ddala. Nganze nkutuse all those whatevers. I had one handbag and the baby. I had no luggage because I hadn't packed. That's how crazy it was. So I came home with a whole idea of 2 to 3 weeks in
just holiday.
6 months later, I was still here. Naye nkabalira omwana obamalayo. Nga nina n'omuwala, nina omukozi, ne mami amuyombera, everybody. And I realized life here was actually quality life. I am not on, and that's the emergence of DSTV. Nigeria, Chifuse, Nigeria. Then I started saying, if this guy's content is being consumed, why aren't we as Ugandans writing something like, some of those scripts were awful, but because we could see a reflection of ourselves, a bit of it, Africans telling African stories, we were the biggest subscription DSTV has. So nengambo manyi kansoke mpandike awo kafirimu bakaita The Life nenkakuba. Then I said, what happens if I do a TV series? So I wrote it, the sole writer of 12 episodes.
Is that
for
Beneath the Lies?
Yes, Beneath the Lies. Then
there was a thing you did with Vampos.
That one, The Life. Now, The Life, I thought I should. Nayeri yalimu chaos. DOP lead actor atenga ye gafa nzenga director ankola set design. Kwegamba much writer skeleton crew. Ne motoke emu ne Canon 60D.
5D.
Nga costume bojja wetukuba. Our friends' homes were sets. But I shot it and I thought, nobody's going to buy it.
Yeah.
Mnet bought it. Omanyi chebaita shock. So when I got that check, I said, what happens if I do a TV series? So I wrote it. Then I said, you know what? I can't do marketing and distribution. Who's successful right now in Kampala that if I bring them together, just the buzz of them being on a project will shock the industry.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. Then I called Cedric Babu and I said, Gwe, you want to make some money on something, you want to put your stamp on something. So he said, I'm in. And that's how Beneath the Lies started. And we shot it with a Kenyan crew.
Tosh?
Yes, Gitonga.
And
who
was the DP?
Mageto.
Mageto.
Yeah, so we worked together on that. It was a dope-ass project. And then it just...
The quality.
Yeah, it was really good. And I wanted an urban storyline that did not have the tragic African story. Second wife, witchcraft, omwana yafa HIV, mama atudde ku malala akaba.
Really
like I wanted Kampala in its bouginess,
I think you achieved that. Why did you?
Why did it? We got a robbery. Nobody knows what happened. We wrapped that day, and we went to what was that bar? Plot something in Kololo, and we were partying. Then we got a call at 5 a.m. saying the whole unit editing suite, even the computers had been taken. And someone had also disabled the cameras. So it was an inside job. I don't know who did it, but whatever happened. And I don't like to think about that because we had sunk our life savings into that. And then I decided to reshoot BTL with Lookman. And that was the second one where we just did 6 seasons, which went on to the MVCAs to compete with the South African. MVCAs never Beneath the Lies, and then they said Uganda. And Ike said, there's no way this is Uganda. This must be a spelling mistake. Ghana is Ghana.
No ganja kukuba.
Nzine Cedric netwetunulia never chitwalira ku Ghana. Because even the name of the executive producer was Nana. So he said Nana. Nana Beneath the Lies, Ghana.
Kagga.
I'm telling you, we didn't get the credit Uganda deserved there.
Should have treated it.
Nenga tuli mu category of South Africa and Nigeria. For me, that was an achievement there. And it had been shot by a Ugandan crew.
Benon, there's something I'm trying to crack with Nana.
Yeah.
I'm still not getting to it, but I don't want to say she's lucky. But have you noticed how... all the doors she's been talking about how they opened.
No,
what is that?
She's intentional.
Okay.
Thank you.
She's very, very I know you, and very deliberate. And sometimes we need that.
Okay.
and then we procrastinate.
Tulabo bakana akola.
Naye tomanya mukama ayinza tuyamba nikakwatayo. No, man.
I believe in the adage that in order to achieve something extraordinary, you have to take risks you've never taken before. As long as you remain in your comfort zone, you
will be something normal.
Yes, you'll be mediocre.
Yeah.
So if you're not staying up late at night, if you're not willing to gamble on
That's
something, it doesn't happen. So everything that has come after Even Beneath the Lies has been very deliberate for me. I've also retained most of the script writing for Savannah Moon. I write. I found that when you bring on too many people in an industry that has no structure or mission or vision or no protection for anyone, there's always squabbles. So in order for Savannah to maintain control of that, I taught myself to write scripts. Then I taught myself to edit. Then I taught myself to produce. Then I taught myself. So I've come through the ranks. Yeah, YouTube is a great read, teach yourself, and then write the stories that you want to see, and do them with your heart so that someone else will see your emotion in that content. So it's very, in fact, as we sit here and say, I want to ask you, Benon, there's a question I asked you earlier. Why do a film that had so much potential and stop at that one film? From one content creator
all the cameras,
to another.
Please focus on Benon's
yes,
face.
please.
Actually, a lot of people ask me that. But the thing is, and this has been part of the growth. You find that in all the situations, even when I was starting up as a producer or just starting the studio in my bedroom, like ebintu ebisinga ebyo ng'okikola kutandika kukola, the other semantics and details you figure out later. So for a very long time, omusajja Jose nga pushing, I think you can do a film. Because I started from background here, mushutinzeyo music video because I was passionate about music. Kati niwesanga need a singer. Before it was music studio producing. It's difficult to get studio time. Then time netukanga, that's no longer an issue. Nae videos, they were expensive. And I learned how to edit from music video. Kati then atene tutandika okufuna ba client mutukolera akalango wano de. So ekintu kya firimu ekyo nekitandika
nekikulaakulamu
ngambitya sibitegera bulungi. And banange mukama yanyamba. First of all, in the beginning, but I've dealt with a lot of pressure. Directing a TVC, like a client, bichi. And I got to a situation where I was comfortable, and those are film okubanya nguko bichi.
Yes.
Yo, na yiganti. Tozanyira ku film. So first, nature nali ntya okola film y'omuntu nga like if someone writes a good script, man, I don't want to mess up the guy's story with me just directing. So I was comfortable writing my own story. Era was there nanyamba. I didn't even know how they write scripts.
Really?
So I actually, like, I would make up excuses. So one night was there nangamba, okay, mpeleza WhatsApp message. Nze nja kubiteka mu format ya script bichi. And that's how Rolex was formed. So we shoot. It was very exciting. At the same time, very difficult. We had put money together for just one shoot day. It ended up we shot for 3 nights. Because the first night it rained. Everything that could go wrong went wrong. But I'm so happy the crew ngabachimanyi era nga buli omanga baita film welcome.
Your production.
And now you have been baptized. They were so encouraging, and they could see that it was my first time. I was working with very great actors, crew. It was growth for me. So what was very confusing afterwards, you do a film, kati nga weebuzabuuza, we didn't do a lot of research of what happens after.
On post.
Va ku ne post naye
Marketing.
Where mugenda giteeka wa?
Mukikola mutya? So, a lot of things didn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's like we produce films for your fellow filmmakers kulaba. You know?
Yes.
What's the purpose?
But I'm not regretting that. It was a lot of learnings for us. So there are other things we want to do. Actually, now we are very intentional.
Yes.
Now that we know the end goal, what happens after. So, chitwale nti twaddayoko okwetereza nti kiba bwe kiti. But then also okwongera okuyiga from others, and then we are also doing more smaller projects. Looking for script. We have now like 2-3 scripts.
Good.
From like that we have collaborated with people. We are in a good place to try again. So it's not like we abandoned, the thing.
Yeah.
The project is more structured now.
There was a lot of learning.
You know, when I saw your film, you guys do music videos.
Yes.
For me, there's music videos that are just flash entertainment, and then there are those that tell stories. I noticed that with Swangs, you guys are more structured and deliberate on how you deliver someone's music video. And it's the same thing with film. And that's the thing that, you have a start, you have a middle, and you have an end. You have to close it out.
Yeah.
But when I saw Rolex, I thought, yes, it did have its teething problems, but it was a good start. And we need people like you in the industry. And I'm being honest because... let me finish. Abantu beyiya nnyo mu film industry. And if you can create what you do, Benon, and with what you do right now, you actually need to be out there. And the thing about it now, marketing and distribution. Fenga Savannah, essaawa eno tetulina project ya kutunda because they've all been bought. But we keep getting distributors saying, yes, thank you. We keep getting distributors that say muina wo chechirala. Now I want to refer them to people abayina ne office.
Kanana kano bokalabira awo inzo kayita agokusaka.
Nti kali chaotic kumbe.
No, before I even go any further, it's at a point now that they've realized that there's a lot of Africans in the diaspora and they're making a lot of money off African content. Okay, now for us, we're actually cheap compared to what they have to purchase from other counterparts. Africans, tukyasanyukira nnyo emitwalo gy'etaano egya ddoola oba 10. For them, baba bakoze marketing ne distribution plan yaabwe. Now, Chulia, wajjira okugamba jimpe. Nagamba, how much do you think you want? Nagamba, no problem, we'll structure it. Just give me A, B, C, and D. Then they come back again. And then you say, I have something from 10 years back. Bring it. We shall just clean the picture up. We shall color grade for you. We shall clean up the sound. It's saying something.
Yeah.
It's saying something, and we don't have to look at only the
connections enough.
Jaji wa Benon, tesina buzibu. Wakati nange nina okufuna wemba referringa. Tosobola kuba mulungi omu. Naye ate jo referring olina okumanya nti tebajja kutuuka eyo ate babafere oba babakolere. Yes, exactly. So it's about referring someone to a reputable person. Ate naye osobola mu vouchinga for. It's so important that guys like you dip your toes. I don't care what you have to do. There's more than enough space for all of us in the film industry. I swear, and we can't feed the beast that is coming up right now. You can't. It is really. And then we have a new generation where now film and music are no longer stigmatized. They're actually, if even poets these days. I do content for UNOC when they want whatever. So they were doing this launch of women in energy and extractives. Nebampita mbakolere performances awe. Kati ngandaba dala UNOC ngenda gikolera performance. Simanyi nti nsobola okuteeka rig ku stage nesima ekyo tekijja kukola. So I'm thinking these corporate guys need a wake up call. So I got a poet and I got some kids with what's that, Wembley. And it was just a poem about women and their ability to nurture bichi bichi. Naye ng'olabira ddala ne ba corporates beewuunya what to you is second nature, how you got it done. So when you look at that and they're all saying kati firimu zo tuzijjawa.
Yeah.
That is a change of mindset. People are now curious about what we can do. Even UFF, okugaba milioni 17 ku best TV series. What does that tell you? That if we push hard enough, they will up the ante and keep upping their ante.
Yeah.
Naye nga mwe mulekerawo kweyebasa.
No, kituufu.
Nnyo kuba bw'oba olinawo firimu emu kitegeeza your teething problems have been cut down by 60%.
It reminds me, but I was watching an interview. Yaba Sauti Soul, one of the Sauti Soul guys, was talking about the time they visited Burna Boy. Before he became this big, sometime back, Naba playing an album, Zali Nya, 4 albums, nga yazikola nezigwa nezibeera. Naye he was just preparing. Nabagamba nze ninda bulinzi kyonna we kyabikira wonna. You know, but omuntu najja nangamba, do you have anything? Nina already.
Yes.
I think that's what she's trying to say. Wetubeewo ne movies affe nga singa tufuna omuntu n'aveeri najja n'atugamba
nekamutanda
mumpeeyo movie
n'omuteekamu omudidi kubanga naffe as Savannah we were not prepared for for that kugamba ne bagula projects zetwalinawo ezimu nga zaatuula nadda naye kati ffe we didn't anticipate there would be a need for it setwebeza bwe ziggwawo n'otandika hamutulindemukko naye nga email babusuulamu every now and then they'll be like anything yet? Yes. But it would be an amazing thing to be able to refer them to you, to anybody else who's like saying naye nga tulina quality omanyize saga yadda kintu kyakuwa muntu nga bagenda okitegeera nga vijja ejjingo yalina okunnyonnyola ekigenda mu maaso.
Nana, I'm
one more
afraid
time.
we're running out of time.
Give it up for Nana.
Naye,
No, thank you so much. That was so powerful.
As we wind up, okay, you've preempted one of my last questions.
Yes.
So njagadde kumanya, if you were like an outsider,
Yes.
would you say film eri tuli bulungi tuli kigenda kwabika anytime? Is it something you would say can make a career nabeera comfortable agamba nze ndi filmmaker and you know they will be able to build a house?
I would say that like anything else you have to be really good. You have to be really good. We still have huge pockets of who are really good and who are still struggling. There's a gap there in the middle, right? And because we don't have film schools, we don't have governance, we don't have guilds, we don't have pay rates, we don't have crew databases, we don't have cast databases, there's still a lot of work there to be done because in order for you to really earn a living, you have to have a certain level of experience that people can refer to before they even offer you a job with money and all of that. I think there's still a lot of work to be done in our structuring the industry. And also understanding that we shouldn't make content for ourselves. Filmmakers, twagala nnyo okukola storyline nga yiyo okitegeera nga to understanding the market you are targeting. Okitegeera kubakangamu kubavuma. I think we have to be very aware with what the market really wants, the sort of content that is selling, the demographic you're selling it to, where you want it to end up.
Because ultimately you want to make money.
Exactly, because now Uganda does get submissions to the Oscars.
Okay.
But we are yet to have work that is easily competitive to that level. We have an issue with sound, Dolby sound in film. Simanyi oba kuffe ffenna kuliko alina Dolby ku film ye. But
yeah, Ahura actually is Dolby certified.
Fantastic.
The guy who does sound for Lukman.
Oh,
yeah,
lovely.
He has
Andrew
Dolby.
Ahura.
Simanyi.
He's certified. He's a Dolby certified
no,
engineer.
Ati simanyi.
We've had him on the show actually.
Oh my God.
And it's one of the reasons why we do this show.
Yeah.
To highlight such people.
Yeah, abantu ngamwe okay, gwe sometimes Most of the time you're in front of the camera.
Yeah.
So, but there are a lot of dope guys in the background that
Yes.
people never get to know.
Anti
Ahura is
nkugamba ne
Dolby
crew
certified.
database wogenda n'ogamba nti this is my requirement, these are the specifications I need for my film, but who matches the experience and training. If you kati nga gwe bw'omungambye mu butuufu ndi eyo Salama simumanyi nti tumwina nti ne munsi muno mwali. But again, we can still make money from film. However, we have to be aware that we have to do the work. We have to do the work. Nobody just walks into something and becomes a specialist. But film in Uganda in 5 years is going to be something to be talked about. And I can guarantee you that. Because I see the quality. You know, apparently this year UFF got over 3,000 submissions in both shorts, documentaries, and feature films. And on that level of submissions, it means people are working. And that they believe in what they're creating. And that they can only get better and better and better. So that what was really good this year will be mediocre next year. And that's what we want to see. For some of us, it's been an amazing journey. And I've been honored and humbled to be part of it. And I do what I
time
love.
Of your life.
I do what I actually, and then being able to pass on what I know and what I've learned is also a privilege that I really cherish. So it's film in Uganda, it might not even get to 5 years. It's going to be less than that. Because now you have also the Netflix is looking at sub-Saharan Africa. When you have saturated South Africa, you've saturated Nigeria, you're next door in Kenya right now. The general result is that you're going to end up in Uganda. And it won't be one person. It won't be one Lookman. It won't be one Nana. It won't be, you know,
industry.
yes. They will want. Gwolabya films aba Nigeria ku Netflix. Waliwo ne holo catalog. Kati olaba nze subscribingira z'aba Nigeria kati kubanga ez'omu America sikyalaba mu makulu. Okiraba.
Stories about
So it would be such an amazing experience.
mu Luganda tebajja kitegeera.
Awo kati abagaba ssente ati tebajja kitegeera.
Nana, so we want to thank you in a very special way for hanging out with us on the Master Bus.
Yes.
We've had a great time. A lot of insightful things we've heard from you. I want to ask you a few questions before we call it a day.
Go for it.
Yours is gonna be really different.
Yes.
But I need you to give one phrase responses. Don't think too much.
Okay, got it.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Best memory of your life.
My first drink.
Worst memory of your life.
My divorce.
Biggest challenge.
I don't know how to be tactful.
Best advice you've ever had.
Do what you love so you never work a day in your life.
Best time of the day.
Afternoons.
Advice to younger people.
Do the work.
Advice to older people.
Look back and celebrate the ones that are coming after you.
Best project you were a part of.
Beneath the Lies.
Best project you produced.
Mukisa.
Worst advice you've ever had.
You'll never make it.
Thank you very much, Nana. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Nana Kagga.
Yay!
Kagga heel.
Yes, I dropped the heel. He died.
Okay, sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share.
Your name, yo.
What is the other thing? Comment. What else? We'll see you on the next one. Thank you very much. We're out.
We out of here, man.
Bye-bye.